I'm so excited, Julie, to have you here. So, we were talking a little bit about duality and basically what's happening. And you were kind of giving some comparisons. So, Julie, could you kind of expand on like your opinion of what is happening right now in the collective consciousness and actually in the reality of this universe? Because it is a reality that's also happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, as a collective, we are experiencing this divisiveness, and it's like, and it's dividing us of everyone's belief. Everyone has a different belief, and that's creating this duality and this judgment in the collective. So someone has a belief about a certain topic, and someone else has the opposite belief. You know, that's that's like life, and that's a polarization, and that's fine. What we have to do is rise above it and come from a place, instead of judgment, come to a place of compassion.
Absolutely. So for yourself, like I started having compassion, and I'll give you some examples afterwards, but what do you feel like someone who's maybe having judgment for a particular belief system that's not serving them, Julie? Like they're like really, really heated. Cause I know I sometimes will judge people. I'm not perfect. And as someone who is conscious and like into all of these things, I still judge people. I judge a lot of people. I won't lie. What can you do to help, like, say, when you're judging someone? Is to just, for myself, I like to remind myself of who I am. So I'm an eternal being. And the reason, like, I'm part of the universe and they're part of the universe. And that unconsciousness that I see in them is maybe reminding me where I'm unconscious myself. So, what would you say to somebody who's maybe experiencing, they don't like someone's belief system? They don't like what they're doing. Maybe they had a traumatic event or something like that. How can we pull ourselves out of that to bring ourselves back to an equilibrium?
Yes. Well, this is what I would say. Like, anyone who's judging anyone, that is an unhealed part of themselves. So that's actual trigger. So that person that you're judging is actually your teacher, right? So anytime you feel like you're judging, thank that person. Be like, thank you for being my teacher, right? Because that they're teaching something about yourself,
Very.
right? So really feel into, like, what was that? Why did that trigger me? Well, maybe it's something that I need to work on myself. And then that's doing that inward work. And you have to go deeper and deeper until you can come to a place of so much healing, profound healing, that you can just be neutral. We
Yeah.
are souls here on earth, and we're all souls, and we all are here to love. And replacing that judgment with compassion is like having that compassion for yourself and having compassion for that person as well.
Absolutely. So I wanted to kind of shift it a little bit, and then come back to it if any topics come up. But as a creator, so we're both creators, we like creating stuff. I've been experiencing when I've been putting out content as an empathic person, I can feel people's energy when I put stuff out, and I'll feel in complete alignment when I produce it, knowing the purpose of it. This is to inspire, this is to empower, this is to educate, this is to maybe help my client find me or just give free content to someone who can't afford it. And then I feel like often this heaviness, like I can sometimes almost feel like I can feel like someone else's anxiety. So, have you experienced this as a content creator yourself? And how do you feel about this duality of creating and creating this intent of putting out beautiful content to help others, but also the duality of maybe not feeling good when you're doing it, like because you're getting some negative feelings back? Again, that duality system.
Yes, I feel you, sister. And I'm empathic as well, and very intuitive as well. And even and those gifts are actually like being awakened in us. So more people are going to feel this way, and more creators are going to feel this way. what I have to say to that is, you know, there are so many empaths on this planet. There has never been this many empathic people. So we're all experiencing this like duality and this judgment. What I'd like to say to that, and I've struggled with it, and I've struggled with this for, and I still do. You know, when I push stuff out, I can feel the judgment. I can feel that energy coming in, and you have to detach yourself from that. And there's different tools that you can use to detach yourself from that, like that mindset. So getting out of the mind, I would say, is like the first thing to do. It's just like going back to heart center and being like, why did I create that post? I did it for coming from a place of love, and feeling into that and really holding that into yourself. Um, I would say would be like the first thing to do.
Knowing your intention before you do it. So really breathing into that. I love that. Just like, okay, I'm doing this and the reason why I'm doing this. Beautiful. So I think knowing your why in so many things, but often when someone is judging someone else, right? So the person who's judging you, you're triggering something in them, which is so funny. So like we're now teaching someone like why they maybe hate our content or like they're judgy. What can we learn when we start to get those feelings? Like we can feel the negativity being reflected back like a boomerang. What is that teaching? Like, how do we as a collective neutralize this? Because I think it's all about being neutral. And I think we said that numerous times, like there's so many opinions and thoughts that are happening. How can we as a collective be neutral? I know that I also look at it and just say, well, that's my opinion. Like, this is my opinion, and they're entitled to their opinion. But how can we remind ourselves and actually get to that place where we're not looking at it but just knowing? Like, when does that make that shift? Because I feel like that's where we're going as a collective.
Absolutely, girl. We are going that way as we are moving into the fifth dimension, which is a heart-based reality. And, you know, it's just like unattaching yourself from that stinking thinking. Like literally, when you have those thoughts creep in or those feelings creep in, is just coming back to that heart space. I would also say is like some other tips and tools is like find those things that bring you joy and happiness and that shifts your energy. You know, is it going when you feel that? Do you go back into creator mode to get away from that? You know, that's what I do. As soon as I start to feel that after I put something out, I'll just be like, okay, what's next? What am I going to do next? And then I just start writing or I go for a walk. I really try to shift that energy and getting out of that that fear mind, because it is fear when we're feeling that, right? So getting out of that fear mind, and it's always going back to heart. What do you do to
Oh my gosh. So there's so many things I love
switch
to
it?
do. But one of the things that I love is my animal. I like literally will just hug her. I've always found animals are attracted to me. And for whatever reason, just like being with her, taking her for a walk, pampering her really helps me. What's another thing? Dancing. I love dancing to music and being silly. That's another thing I love to do. Creating more content, honestly. I love creating videos and just taking pictures and being in nature. That has to be number one. I have to be in nature at least once or twice a day. And the last thing that I would say is shutting off my social media. Like I've got to put it out and just be like, okay, it's going to do what it's going to do. I don't want to look at it. I did have for a while this obsession. I don't know if you've experienced it. You want to see how your content is doing. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, you have to unattach yourself from that. You
Yeah.
have to. It's like, you know what? You put it out there and you know the comments that come back, like really engage with those people and like, you know, sending your like your gratitude and gratefulness for them. And then yeah, like still it's having that attachment to an outcome.
Yes. So for you, like obviously What would you like to say about this? Because I know like last night was, you said it was a full moon. And so is there anything you wanted to talk about this energy kind of shifts with like astrology or anything that's happening energetically right now with the planet that's kind of divinely orchestrated with what we're talking about?
Love that you brought that up, Shauna. Thank you. I love talking about this stuff. So we are experiencing, we're actually in the portal of the full moon in Virgo.
Oh, wow.
And Virgo's energy is, it's a sense of grounding. They are easily to connect to their higher selves, and they're very heart centered. So it's a softer energy, and we're going to start to see things in a softer vantage point. Okay. So the rare cosmic alignments that has happened in February have been so intense, and we are moving out of it. Okay. What I would say is connecting to your energy body, your chakras. We're working a lot with the sacral chakra right now with Virgo, because Virgo is connected to the sacral chakra, and that's creation, that's flow, it's divine feminine energy. So really just tapping into the flow and making peace with change, keeping our faith and restoring hope, and really connecting ourselves to our higher self, and our own inner divinity.
Okay. So stepping into that, so we're stepping into like, I love that you said creativity and we're talking about creativity right now, which is very ironic. So that is awesome. So with the last thing with like the duality system, do you see any changes with the astrology system like right now? Like when do you think that that is going to kind of like phase out based on the astrology charts and everything like that?
Well, we are in Pisces season, so it's like the Virgo full moon in Pisces season, and Pisces is connected to the third eye, which the third eye is like enhanced right now, which we can see past the illusion of fear. So, my meditations and the meditation that I held last night was really like tapping into our vision for the future, trusting your intuition, and, really seeing things for what they are. And that's what I would say. Like, moving past that duality is seeing past that illusion, because it is an illusion. It's a false illusion of anything that we are experiencing that doesn't come from love.
Absolutely. So stepping into that place of like witnessing your thoughts, like realizing you're just like, okay, this is just happening, witnessing that and not judging. I think so much is happening. I'm so curious what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks and months to see with all the judgment that's actually taking place and how like can we as a human collective get to a place at one point that we're not judging each other? I wonder in our lifetime if that's something that's going to happen. I have no clue.
I believe it is. I believe it's happening very soon. We are, as a collective, here to be unified.
Oh,
That is the actual ultimate goal. So my advice for that is remaining neutral with anyone's beliefs, holding that space of like love and compassion towards people always, and being just really neutral. I honor people's other beliefs. If you believe in a topic that I don't believe in, I'll still listen to you, I'll still honor you, I'll still love you,
yeah.
right? you know so the awakened collective are the ones really holding this space and this love for the other part of the collective. These mass awakenings are happening. We're holding that space until they reach to that plane of existence.
So they can wake up essentially and
Because yeah,
that.
yeah, and rising above our differences. We just have to do that. And that's what we're here for. What's coming up in the next few weeks is the spring equinox, which is really exciting. We're still in a shadow period right now of the Mercury retrograde.
Okay.
And we'll be in that shadow period up until the equinox. So the equinox is like spring and new energy. So it's going to be beautiful. There's going to be a massive awakening in the spring, and we are going to come to this place because that's where we're meant to go.
That's so exciting. So basically, just holding space to have other people's differences. Like I was just telling you before we kind of wrap this up, if there's anything else you wanted to say, I was having appreciation for a lot of like quote unquote my haters, people who have hurt me, all of that. And I was sending them so much love. And I was like, thank you. Like, and I honestly started to look at, thank you for serving me to see where I needed to do my work. Thank you for reminding me of who I am. And it's so funny because now I have so much compassion. I'm also vegan. I think you're a vegan as well. And there's some people who eat meat and like, yes, I prefer to be vegan, but I also understand there's different blood types, there's so many different factors. And I do believe like I would encourage people to eat more vegan, plant-based for the majority of it, but I have to accept that maybe that they see their reasons why they're doing it and to not judge them and just having appreciation for everyone and for whatever they're doing. And that was like a kind of eye-opening situation when I would fall into judgment, is to just kind of step back into that. So
Absolutely. That's like, look at your skin. Everyone should be vegan. Look at our skin.
yes, yes, yes.
you know so that's beautiful, and that you have made peace and have have that gratitude, and that towards the people that have hurt you. That's powerful. That's immense healing that you've done for yourself. That's a lot of inner work to be able to hold that gratitude, and sending them that like loving energy, because that's like going back to it. That's the ultimate goal.
I do it all the time. Like when I like put out content and I feel like I do it all the time. I'm like literally sending you love, like whoever you are. Like I just wish you nothing but the best. It's just so funny because I don't know what shifted in me. I just said that the other day. Actually, I said it on my story today. I have no idea what shifted in me. There was a collective consciousness that was maybe I won't share my story from a place of about me, but more about empowering others. And then also was talking to somebody else about confidence. And I said, I don't know where I've cultivated this self-love, like this unconditional knowing who I am. It just was an energy shift. And sometimes you can't explain energy. Like it just is like you shift into it. I can tell you maybe my formula and walk you through it, but it's something that's just going to happen. And I think that's what's going to happen for the collective and all of us. Eventually, we'll start to see each other. My hope for everyone is we see each other in this way.
We see each other in the love and the light. Absolutely. And I love what you just said too. Like, you know, coming from hurt and then replacing that with love and putting that energy out there, you're actually helping other people that you don't even realize. That's how energy works, right? Your vibration of forgiveness, your vibration of compassion and kindness is an unconditional love is going out there. And me just talking about that right now, as I'm a Reiki master teacher, my hands just got really hot, because that is the vibration that you're putting out there, and that's how the energy works. So what's going to come back to you is beautiful karma for yourself and your evolution.
It's so funny because I originally, when I was trying to fight it, like I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna create this and do this. And then I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna send you love and see what happens. And it was just like that neutrality, right? Like you talk about it. Like I got to the point where I'm like, well, I love you regardless if you hate me or whatever. That's fine. I'm okay with it. And it really does change your energy. But I obviously still have work to do because I still judge people sometimes, and I'll be like, when I feel like they're doing things that may be hurtful, but then I look at it and I'm like, that person's hurting. That is someone who is hurting. And honestly, Shawna, send them so much love. I catch myself and I'm able to switch it.
That's beautiful, and that's the golden ticket.
So do you have anything else that you want to say, Julie? Because you're so knowledgeable with energy and all of these things. So I'm so curious.
Y- Yes, like really during this energy time of all these cosmic alignments that are happening, they are rare, is really just like taking care of yourself, drinking lots of water, staying hydrated. And during these times, like that's the thing to do for the next like couple weeks, I would suggest, is just like really honoring yourself and being gentle with yourself, lots of self love.
Love that. Thank you so much, Julie. I feel like this is a really good time to put this out, considering we're both feeling it. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being on here. And we'll be sharing more videos like this, right, Julie?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.